myself, I've got my own events company, weddings company, and, we had to adapt completely, with the way
Yeah.
I'm going to be doing things in the future. And I think this is, going to be phenomenal for the industry, having, this platform and just helping brands, and,
Yeah.
from the smallest brands to the largest, enterprises, give them a platform where they can still promote themselves, still get out there, still, reach the grooms, to be in the future.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. And I think that's been one of the gifts that have come out of 2020. We've really had to rethink things. At the moment, I'm doing more work in India than I am almost in South Africa. And it's kind of like, how did that happen? I don't even have to climb into a plane. And, in as much as all the work was wiped out, we had nothing going forward into the future, we then had to figure out what this thing called virtual keynotes and virtual conferencing and events was. And if somebody from India had phoned me up beginning of March and said, "Hey Richard, we want to pick any of the clients, Sony Pictures, IBM, Deloitte, there are tons, it's been wild," and say to me, "Richard, we want you to speak to our senior managers, they're dotted all over India and in fact all over the globe," I'd be like, "Wow, that's amazing, where do I fly to?" And if they said to you, "No, well, you're going to be wherever you want to be in Johannesburg," I'd be like, "Wow, sorry?" And now we've learned to do this, and it's been an incredible thing. And I think, for instance, in your industry as well, certainly in mine, I think we're going to move forward into an area that is going to be a hybrid. There are going to be some live events and some that are going to be virtual, because I think there's some things that are in some ways even more powerful on virtual. There really are huge advantages if we get past this obsession we have with focusing on all the negative things. So I can only imagine that your event is going to be a massive success. And as you say, you're able to connect tons of people that you weren't really able to connect before. So my own example is exactly that, is that, the opportunity I've had to speak, I think it's in 43 different countries since the beginning of lockdown, which if you told me that at the beginning of the year, I would have said, "You're crazy. That's never going to happen." There's been a world of opportunities. When are we going back to normal? And I'm still hearing that. Why is this not normal? Because it is normal. This is what normal has become. And the sooner we embrace this and figure out how to move forward in this space, the more we're going to find these opportunities. And the more we want to just go back and cling to this idea of, and I talk about negativity and I talk about cancers, and that we've all got our cancers that we need to. You might not actually have physical cancer, but you might have other cancers. And one of those cancers is the past, is this idea of a past. And the incredible thing about 2020 is that, as you said, there's so many different platforms and avenues and resources that we've got to be able to put ourselves out there and engage with bigger audiences and get far more targeted reach than we've ever had before. I'm not a fan of live expos. I'm not a fan of going to festivals and where there are lots of people. I'm not that guy. So I might seem extroverted, but I'm really not. I'm an introvert, and it costs me energy to be extroverted. So, I remember when I was getting married, and unfortunately that didn't turn out well, but anyway, and we were needing to go to expos and go to things, and I was like, wow, being dragged along and having to, make decisions. And so this is really cool for a guy like me. I don't even have to leave my couch and the remote. I can just watch something or be on when I want to be on and browse to all of these things. And I don't have to leave my house. And that, I think, is amazing. It really is amazing. And as you said, it gives from the smallest to the biggest an opportunity to get out there and get some exposure. So no, I think it's an amazing thing. And it's safe. And we don't know where we're going to be in March next year. So I think that's the best thing too, is it gives everybody the security and safety of being in their home and doing it in comfort, which appeals to me.